a draft version of version 1 of the SpaceX AI satellite, an AI-1, I guess you could call it. Seems like a reasonable place to start is 150 kilowatts peak power, 120 kilowatts sustained power, and to give you a sense of what does that actually look like in terms of the size of the radiators, size of the solar panels. The assumptions here are 250 watts per square meter for the solar array, and about 1,400 watts per square meter for the radiators. So the radiators, these are double-sided. Radiators are radiating both sides. They're oriented knife edge to the sun, and it's 1,400 watts per square meter is a very achievable goal. Over time, we think we could probably do above 250 watts per square meter and above 1,400 watts per square meter for the solar panels and radiators, respectively. But this gives you like this is pretty much what the satellite's going to look like. Yeah. It's a lot of solar panels, radiator, and then everything else is pretty small by comparison.
And these are like evolutions of things that we have actually already launched in our Starlink constellation to date.
Yeah.
That's really, I think, the cool part to me is that we're looking at solar technology that we already are going to use on the V3 Starlink vehicle. So I'm like really excited to then just take those and make it bigger.
Yeah, part of what we want to convey here is that there's not some magic that's necessary that doesn't exist for the AI satellites. As Ian said, a lot of this is technology we've already made for the Starlink V3 satellites. So we basically don't think this is a super hard problem compared to things we already do. Mm-hmm. There would also be probably something on the order of a terabit of connectivity, of laser link connectivity from the satellite. Mm-hmm. The 150 kilowatt peak power level roughly matches what, say, an Nvidia GB300 rack would do. So if you've got a GB300 with 72 GPUs, its peak power, I think, is around 140 kilowatts. But it's almost impossible to get it to be at that peak power. A more reasonable operating envelope would be around 120 kilowatts average power. But it can peak up to 150. So it's basically, think of it as a rack of compute in space. And then you can connect these racks of compute to either each other via the laser links or directly to the Starlink constellation. Yes. So you can close the link with the Starlink constellation, and then Starlink can then send that data to the ground using the existing Ka and Ku antennas on the vehicle. It also has laser links to the ground as well. So, and this would not be at a particularly high latency. We're talking about maybe being around 600 to 800 kilometers above the Earth, and light travels 300 kilometers